Hello, football enthusiasts. Welcome to Black Sport Podcast. I am your host, like always, Insonet Uche, and I'm still on the wheel to take you through what is happening in the world of sports. Today is a special day because we're talking about something very, very special. Over 35% of athletes go through this problem, and we have currently 51.7% are currently battling this. This is an important aspect which is called the mental health in sports, and it's an interesting one because I have someone here, a guest who is a writer, a renowned fashion designer, a health practitioner, and is a chronic and wonderful activist of what human health, and he's a fitness coach as well. He's no one else but Victor Quincy. Welcome to Black Sport, bro.
I'm happy to be here, bro. I'm really happy to
Man, it's good to see you.
Yeah. I'm really excited to be here because I can remember when we talked about this. When this hasn't been manifested like this.
Okay.
So coming here, and first when I walked in, I realized that we thought about this, and now look, this is happening.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud of you, and
okay.
I know this is still starting.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
Yeah, it's gonna blow up. So people just have to be ready to receive what's coming, because the thing is, as colored people, the topic we're talking about, or we're going to talk about today, I feel is something that everyone needs to pay attention to, and having that you as a football enthusiast shining light on this is something that I really do appreciate. And as someone who is in the mental health space, I feel the connection is really and it's really time. I think the timing is divinely right. To talk about this. So
you're happy to be here, right?
I'm super excited to be
We're
honest.
really happy to have Victor Quincy here in the studio. Do you know what I just said? He has gone through a whole lot of things that you have actually passed through. He's a fitness coach, he's a writer, he's a health practitioner. That means he has seen it all. He have actually coached people through these phases. So before we dive into everything now about the mental health or with the sports, when did you fall in love with the game of sports?
Actually, growing up from let me say, as a child, right?
Yeah.
The space that I grew up in was one where doing something is like being active is kind of the order of the day. I grew up in Abia State, Nigeria.
Okay.
And Aba is a town where everyone is doing something. As a kid, if you're not playing football, if you're not, like, you just have to be active.
Be good at something.
You just have to be active. And I kind of understood how much being active helped me as a child, and going through the childhood phase, the secondary school phase, then the university space, and being open to studying psychology, made me understand, like, all these activities as a child has kind of like brought me to this space, and I'm really understanding things better, right? Prior to So like,
when we can actually pinpoint, like, you're a fitness coach, when do you think that this is it for you? When do you see that, fine, I'm in love with this, I'm in love with getting physically healthy, I'm in love with drawing up all the whole muscles up, I love this? Well, when do you have a thing that I need to hit the gym? When did you fall in love with this?
Okay, that was really after I had this health scare when I was a teen. So after the health scare, I started learning things, like learning life afresh. Like, I started learning how to walk.
It was like you had how will I put it? You just, like, life hits you so fast that you have to start afresh to relearn.
Yes, I started relearning. It was crazy because I started learning how to walk. Like, from how to walk, I started learning how to, like, kind of talk properly, because then I used to stammer. Like, I stuttered so hard then, but I still do now. But I've trying to kind of like learned how to manage the whole
how to
thing,
manage it,
maybe by
okay.
speaking slow and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, going through that phase, I realized that it had a lot to do with my mind.
Okay.
And my mom really helped, because she would tell you stuff that even if you feel like within you that you're dying, if you hear the things she says, and automatically you see that you might be so foolish thinking of dying even.
Yeah,
because there's someone who believes in you so much, you know what I mean? So kind of that, all those stuffs like helped me personally.
Yeah.
And I realized that a whole lot could come from having a changed mindset, you know, especially how you look at things. And I would give my mom credit for doing that for me. So she brought me into that mental health space where, oh, you have to understand that your mind can take you through anything. And psychology, mental health is just basically the study of the mind, isn't it? So if you understand how the mind works, then really you can actually do anything. So that brought me to loving mental health. Loving, I went for psychology, because in my head I was like, I want to study how people think. But though it wasn't really what I saw in psychology space, but the studying, counseling and all that helped me understand that I can understand how I feel, and once I understand how I feel, I can be able to understand how someone feels. And when I understand how you feel, then maybe I can kind of like read your mind.
Okay.
You know, because I can understand, once I understand how you're feeling, then from your feelings your thoughts are created, and from your thoughts you can tell me the things you think, you know. So you see, I've kind of like read your mind by understanding how you feel. But that has to come from me understanding how I feel first. So you know, so I would say the university was where I had to, so that's like I started loving mental health and everything.
Okay.
You know, so that was like years ago.
That means you put it this way. So you fell in love with fitness and actually training more to building your mind mentally and physically as well towards your university days. That's what you actually fell in love with.
Yeah, and also let me put this straight there. Like, you know, there was, you know, you can be doing stuff and before you know, your ego will take over, right?
Okay.
Because then I would say I would be as sincere as I can.
Yeah.
You know. Also, one of the motivating reasons then for loving fitness this time is the idea that you're gonna get a lot of girls if you do fitness. I saw like as a teenager, I saw grown ups, like there was this guy on the street where I lived.
Yeah.
You know, he'll be walking past and a whole lot of people will be staring at him, and he walked out so much. And I know I had sisters who would like open the curtain just to stare at him. Like, and then I was like, maybe now this is where they live to. You know what I mean? So
this
I was like,
the secret, right?
One day I met him and I told him that I want to learn how to lift weight. And you see, he actually started laughing. And I was like, I saw how people look at you when you walk, you know. So like he brought me to his place, and there was this barbells there. Then I started. Then from there I had mine with my friends who were into workout then, so we started lifting. Then after lifting, I understood that a whole lot of people were telling me, oh, you're getting big, you're getting more big. Then I started seeing the whole like modeling stuff, and I know how people saw people who online would bare chested and all that, like whoa, and I wanted to do that. I just wanted to all that attention and all. Then it motivated me to like go harder, you know. And the results came, but along the line I realized that this same thing that I felt gave me some kind of
confidence,
can actually break you too. Because then if someone tells you, hey, I think you're reducing now, you see that in your head, you start feeling like, oh, maybe I'm not doing enough. So you see, the same thing that is kind of like giving you pleasure is the same thing that will bring you sadness
as well.
So in as much as the physical exercise has a lot to do mentally, like positively, right? It has also things that would mentally, let me use the word, fuck you up. You know, because then if because you're not going about it the healthy way, people can tell you stuff and it will kind of like break you.
Yes,
you know.
definitely.
So that's just what it is for me.
Okay,
You know?
so you know about what he just said about his connection, his life story with mental health, with fitness, and down to his journey right here. He has a book actually actually coming. He has one already on Amazon, so you can actually grab one. It's right there on the screen. You can actually hit that up for you. So back to what we have for today is about, I call that the internal weather. Most people actually take it about their physical body and don't worry about the emotional one. Okay, just like the same way we have the weather of the weather that goes through different seasons of you go through the spring, the winter, and also the autumn. The same way your mental health goes through all those stress of
Phases
sadness,
too,
angers. You go through all this space, so your ability to navigate through all these waters and stay afloat is what really matters.
Exactly.
You
I believe,
understand?
like, let me just add a little to what you said. You know, when I kind of introspect, you know, I've been thinking a lot lately, right?
Yeah.
Then sometimes I stumble on thoughts and I write them down. Okay, so the thing you said about the mind going through phases, or our emotions going through phases, I made sense of that so much because somehow I think I've written down something about how the weather can be a whole lot of therapy for us.
Yeah.
Let me use the UK as an example. The weather is so bipolar that you can go outside and experience the 3 seasons at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it's hot, then the next minute it's cold.
Yeah.
The next minute it's about to snow.
Yeah.
You know, the same way the human mind functions.
Okay.
You know, like the human mind has a lot to do with the like, if you understand the cloud, you can understand how your emotion works. You know, like sometimes if the sky is dark, you know in your head that just give it some many minutes and the sky is gonna brighten up too.
Yeah, definitely.
But if we're sad in our head, we don't still remember that. Just give ourselves some minutes.
Time.
Our mind will be clear, or maybe this anxiety would stop.
Yeah.
You know, this fear would cease. You know, we understand life and how the phases and seasons work, but we don't understand ourselves in that frame too.
Yeah.
And I feel like making sense of how nature works and understanding that we are part of nature too would give you that like self-awareness to know that I don't even need to read so much books. I don't even need to go for so much therapy. Life itself is
it's therapeutic on its own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, the weather is there to teach me stuff. The animals are there to teach me things. The babies are there to teach me things. Kids are there to teach me. My neighbor is there to teach me, because they are all part of nature itself.
Yeah.
Just as you are part of nature too. But I think we've alienated ourselves from nature so much that now we just want to strive for things when everything is just around. To understand your mind, just understand life, just understand the little things, and like that can lead you a whole lot to understanding self. And I feel like understanding self is the core of mental health.
Okay, the core of mental health being understanding your own self. And this brings us to the real topic of today, which has to do with how athletes cope with mental health. Mental health goes all around, not just athletes, even the fans as well go through all this phase.
Yeah.
So don't think that he's exceptional to, or maybe he's an elite player. It goes down even to academy players, and it's actually recorded that over 44% of academy players goes into mental state every single day because of pressure. So now let's talk about the players, the elite players. Most people don't think that this is something they need to pay serious attention to. Yeah, most people think it's just a way of life. Mental health taken seriously by athletes is paramount, yes. But do you think that we're doing enough to protect players going through this? I myself inclusive, because we go through matches, we banter about it, we'll talk about, but you can't take away the critics from the sports. But yet also those critics are also bound to mar and also to break them. So what do you think about the equation between this thing? How do you think athletes can cope with mental health, especially young academy players who are still coming up the ranks?
I'll always say that first of all, we need to understand that we are human beings first before every other thing.
Yeah.
You know, people tend to get lost in the idea or the image a person presents. And maybe if the image is pleasing to us, we now make a person out of that image.
Yeah.
And we are all human beings, so we always want to be highly expectant of that image you've created of people. And when they stop delivering to our if they stop meeting our expectations,
Yeah.
you see us start criticizing them. And if these people who are being criticized are not emotionally intelligent and enough,
Yeah.
you see the critics in person.
Yeah.
In fact, every human, let's just not like focus on athletes alone.
Yeah.
Every human, both the watchers, both the performers,
Yeah, everybody
needs to understand the role that mental health plays in performance of athletes and all that. Because if we don't put that in mind, we see ourselves breaking the people we've created ourselves. You know, like I always tell my friends that it's so crazy when if a madman makes you, right, it will only take the madman to have a crazy thought to break you too.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and funny that we are all crazy people. For humans, we are all crazy people, right? so imagine when you don't understand this, then someone tells you you're crazy and you take that to heart. I know that you don't actually know yourself, so how would I let people who don't know themselves tell me who I am?
Yeah.
But first, I need to know who I am.
Know who you are.
So if the players don't know who they are, how can they distinguish between who they are and who people tell them that they are?
Yeah.
So you get the core. I say it, and I say it with my chest, that the core of mental health is self-awareness, emotional intelligence. In fact, to bring it down, I tell people that for me, emotional intelligence is a refined name for the Holy Spirit. If you have your emotional intelligence in you, you would know how to relate with yourself. You know how to navigate social spaces. You know how to regulate your emotions. You know how to relate with other people. You know how to manage relationships.
Yeah.
So let me bring this down to football, right? Let's say I'm a footballer and I know and I understand myself.
Yeah.
If I understand myself, I will know how to regulate my emotions in the dressing room.
Yes.
You know, then in the field of play, I will know what is entailed. Like I have to be a team player.
Okay.
I don't have to be selfish. I need to work with this. If someone makes a wrong pass, I will need to understand that the person is human too. You know, once I understand that, I will be able to have good relationship with maybe if I'm a striker,
teammates,
the winger. I will know when the winger is anxious, and I know what to tell him in order for him to correct his mistakes and give me a good pass.
Yes.
So you see, I'll be able to coordinate my relationship with others, and at the end of the day, you see me performing so well. I think people who perform at elite levels understand this. Messi, for instance, I think he understands that. Ronaldo understands that, because if he doesn't have like good emotional intelligence, do you know how many banters that guy gets?
He's the most criticized player athlete in the world.
Most of players, what really fucks them up are not just what they're struggling, but what people are telling them, and maybe they don't have like good self-awareness or good understanding of who they are.
If you have that self-awareness, you know that even though you have that self-awareness, it's not just enough. See, there's some things that happen to you, there's something that hits you so fast, you know that, come on, it can break you. Let me give you an example. Maguire went through a whole lot of phase, his struggles, and he actually got to speak with Beckham that went through the same phase again. He actually mentored him, and you can imagine when you get threats to your families, you can imagine it's a whole different level. And apart from that, you're playing, you're not performing, you're not where you're supposed to be. You are not happy with yourself because you know that you're not in the level you're supposed to be. And people are telling you what you already know, that you're not in that level. You know that you've let a whole lot of millions down. Now, sometimes you're not only being worried about yourself. You're worried about people who looked up to you that you're actually let down. So it's not just about being intelligent about the mental health. It's about how do you think you can cope with this? Because this is just at an elite level. Imagine a young player going through the ranks, an academy boy. With all the pressure, you need to think fast. How many minutes? And you have in a camp of close to 40 players, and they only get only one person in a screening. That is mad, bro. Do you know what it means?
Okay. Let me make it simpler. The reason why I would always say emotional intelligence is everything is because it consists of 4 things, right? Self-awareness.
Okay.
Self-regulation.
All right.
Right. Social awareness.
Okay.
And relationship management. So, if you understand self, understanding self is like having a mental shield to know that your reaction to things is dependent on how you perceive the thing. Isn't it? Now, if I am Maguire and person tells me, hey, I'm shit, I'm not enough, and I take it to heart that I'm shit, I'll flop if I'm playing whatever match I'm playing. I will definitely flop because in my head,
you're
I'm
thinking
shit.
that.
Now, if someone tells me I'm shit, and I get the word and I examine the word, like I try to naked the word to understand what this really means, and I first of all understand who is saying this, what authority does this person have. Now, I've played football basically all my life. And this person must have started watching football, like say.
Imagine if he has watched football all his life. Can't say that. If they have seen different stars.
If the person has watched football all their life,
yes.
For the fact that I've played football all my life,
yes,
I'm the one experiencing everything.
Definitely.
He's just watching me, and his interpretation of whatever I play is based on his level of experience
and his level of what you should have been playing at that level,
and that is on him, whatever he expects.
Okay,
I don't know if you understand. Now, if I don't know myself, I would think that whatever he says is who I am. But if I know who I am, I understand that I'm in a phase where maybe I'm not giving enough in training. Maybe there's still something that I need to learn. Maybe I'm in a space where I'm too anxious. Maybe I need to work on my anxiety levels and all. That will be my focus, and not even what they say, because they don't actually know themselves. Because if they know themselves, then they will understand that this guy is in a phase where maybe he's going through a dark time. So definitely with more work, he will definitely come to light. But they don't understand that, and because the person doesn't understand that, if I believe the person, automatically I'm fucking myself up.
Okay, if you don't believe the person, what if the situation whereby they tell you, come on, you're great, you're good, you're the best player in the world, and you know that you're really good, then why do you get to believe yourself when it's all about positivity?
Now, if that's the same thing that I said earlier, that if a madman makes you king, he only just need is one mad thought to dethrone you. You understand? So if I believe them first without believing in myself,
okay.
Every day they wake up and tell me that I'm shit, I'll believe that I'm shit too. You know what thing I like about like if you see strong-willed players like let's say Zlatan.
Yes.
People who don't understand will see him as arrogant,
as a proud person.
See, so someone like Ronaldo, right? He will say things. Some people will be like, I saw a clip. He said he was talking about. I think he was talking about France football, and he said something about
he said that Saudi Arabia is better, is stronger than Ligue 1.
Yeah, Ligue 1. You know, some people might be like, "What's this guy talking about?" But he's saying based on his level of experience.
Yeah,
he has played in great places. Do you understand? So from the level of place he has played, and
it's compared to what
he has seen it as shit. So to him, he might be, see the life is a perspective thing. Relative, so if I take your perspective as my truth, it fucks me up, or it makes me happy. But I need to understand and create my own truth. So if you tell me the thing you think is truth, I will use my own understanding of myself as a standard to weigh whatever you tell me. That way I can choose what to believe and what not to. And if I don't think like that, whatever anyone says gets to me. And it still takes emotional intelligence to understand that. What I think that, like when it comes to what you said about academy players and all that, I think every team or every club should, if they, I don't maybe they do, if they get like coaches and all and trainers for maybe physical health and all that, I feel like they should get coaches for mental health too, because if the mind is not right, the players won't even play well.
It's not even about getting the coaches. It's about the willingness of you seeking help. There's one about Yes, just like what's her name? The other athlete, Osaka.
Yeah.
Simone, that's Osaka, right?
Naomi Osaka, yeah.
That pulled that. She's confident enough to come and say, "I'm battling with depression and anxiety since I actually won the US was the ATL ATP since I won the ATP, has all this anxiety and depression."
Yeah.
Not everybody can actually admit that know that they have a problem that they need to work on.
Yeah.
And believe you me, 80% of young players who don't even want to think that they all focus about I'm not good enough, that's why they make the sport.
Yeah.
And because I need to be good enough, they don't think that this is about you going through the waves of mental health at that phase.
Yeah.
They're all about making the cut, making it to the finals,
Yeah.
or making the cuts to get screened. And if they don't make it, it breaks you. It takes a by grace of God and the whole of motivation to keep you going. So that is why I talk about African players. I tell them, if you're going for a career in football, always know that it must not always be football. Even if it doesn't work, there's still life if not football.
Yes.
So always know that you can actually survive even regardless that you didn't make it in football. Now, brings me back to what our discussion now is. It can actually make you and break you. As a young player, and young academy who's still starting to become an elite player, does not know or identify that he needs help. So even if you have a mental health officer around to, it's about you knowing that you need to go and seek that support.
Okay, I think it comes where this is where the elite players come in, right?
Okay.
Mbappe, for instance, I can remember there were clips of him saying that Ronaldo is his idol.
Yes.
And you know one thing with idols is if you have an idol, you see yourself cultivating a mentality that
your idol has
aligns with what your idols believe in.
Yeah.
So now imagine where I think the Ronaldo story will still motivate a whole lot of people,
yes,
right? Because they will always bring pictures of him when he lost his dad and all that, you know, and that inspires you to know that, oh, you can actually get to a place. But I think, or it might be a business thing though, where they just show you the part where they struggle, and they turn great footballers. You know, there is something that I wrote in my book about understanding failure and how much failure inspires. That success might motivate you, but it takes failure to inspire you. And you know that inspiration and motivation are kind of like different things that people need to understand. You know, inspiration is, for me, I feel it's intrinsic, like you create it yourself.
Yeah.
The motivation is basically given to you.
Yeah, given to you.
You understand? It's more like the outside in, and the other one is like the inside out. And for me, I feel if it's intrinsic, it kind of like lasts longer. The energy is quite stronger
when it's coming from within. Because
at the end of the day, it's what you tell yourself that matters. Let me use an example for you. It's like a well-known story. Like for Christians, I think they will relate a whole lot. In a book in the Bible, I think the prodigal son. You know why that story for me is very profound. Is I might not see it the religious way, right? But the way I made sense of it was the guy was intrinsically inspired, not motivated.
Okay.
You know, like nobody told him, hey, you shouldn't be sitting with pigs or eating with swines and stuff like that. You know, he told himself, hey, I think I'm done here.
Yeah.
You see, maybe there is. I think I've kind of like I've seen this, and from where I'm coming from, I think is better. There was no Holy Spirit that told him, hey, it's time to go. There was no pastor that told him, hey, it's time. All those people do is motivate you. They can motivate you, and at the end of the whole day, still if you don't have the right space, mental space, you can't still, like, their words won't grow in you, isn't it? So you need that inspiration, and the inspiration comes from you changing your thoughts. Like, I think in therapy there's what we call CBT, you know, cognitive behavioral therapy. You know, I think it's very, very profound in kind of like changing how you see things. You know, because the things you believe stem from thoughts, isn't it? So if you can deconstruct these thoughts and create new ones, then automatically you would uproot those old thoughts and replace it with new ones, and these ones will form new truths for you. So like, I think the book I'm putting out very soon kind of like it's a guide to help you do the like resizing. Yo, is this working? Is this not
working?
You have to introspect, ask yourself questions. Is this the right idea to choose? So once you've done all that, it will be easy for you to be mentally resilient, in order to kind of like accept what life brings. And also people should kind of like understand life as it works, that life is really not always like sunny. There will be rain, there will be thunderstorms. And once you understand that, when thunderstorm comes, you realize that, okay, this is life is expressing itself in this way, and tomorrow something else, I will experience something new. You'll be gliding through life with ease. They will always tell you that still waters are the deadliest. I think there's something of that.
Yeah, right? Put it this way, like winning, when you're winning everything, it makes the failure more impactful, because the struggle is longer.
Man City, for instance, they won a couple of times. Now they began to lose, and people like this is football. Some people must win too.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you understand, they have to. At some point, the game will even stop being interesting to you. We need failure, like we need pain in life, but we pray against all this stuff. We don't want pain. We don't want that. You need all those. Like I tell people that for humans, I feel like there is something we have this connection with pain, that if something is not painful, we don't feel like this thing is alive.
It's a grind. It's just grinding.
And it's so true, because if you check when you were born, what really proved to everybody that you were alive was you cried.
Yeah.
And crying is pain. So maybe I could have laughed and everybody would know that this guy is here. But if you're actually beat so that you're spanked a little so that you can cry. Yeah. And when you cry, everybody will thank God that you're feeling pain. So you see,
I don't know the way you put it this way.
Everybody is thanking God that you're feeling pain. I don't know if you understand. So and you see that we only show empathy when we see somebody feeling pain.
No.
So that means there is something about pain that we really, really love. But we pray. See, if the earth could talk,
yes,
do you know how it would feel having holes and spare, like in order for you to just plant a seed, they
have to go through the pain.
The ground has to go through pain. Do you know what childbirth is like?
You have to go through pain.
You have to go through pain for that. That's when maybe the story even becomes a bigger testimony when you tell people, I was in labor for 5 hours. Everybody will give up praise to God because you felt pain for 5 hours. Yeah. But if I stand on the altar, for instance, and say, I gave birth and immediately I went in and I came out, everybody will be like, okay, that's it. But if I start crying and telling how I cried, how I shouted, the story will be more, because there's a bit of pain.
What is motivation? Motivation have to go when you go through a series of pain, and at the last you are crowned.
I feel like the motivation is someone telling you how they experienced pain and express themselves through pain, and because you've actually gone through, you know what they are feeling deep down, because you have that magnetic force which is pain that attracts us to the pains of other. You see, our good person coming out when we just hear a sad story. Let me say the story of Dele Ali. That's his name, right? The guy that plays ball. But everybody was calling him shit. He wasn't playing well. Till the day he said, "Oh, like this is how my childhood was," and a whole lot of people started feeling sad for him because they too have shitty childhoods too.
As well,
the same people who were calling him shit because they didn't hear his pain story.
Yeah, then they understand that it's not really easy being him.
Exactly. So I feel like there's that thing about pain that just unites every human, and everything living, basically. So if you understand that pain is a part of life, it helps us be mentally resilient when challenges come. Yeah. Because we know that once we see a challenge, this is an omen to build. This is this is a sign that yes, growth is imminent. We just have to put in the right work, and understanding it this way is where emotional intelligence still comes in.
You talked about emotional intelligence quite a lot, and it's really quite intriguing because I know that we just have to be aware self-awareness is paramount to mental health.
Yeah.
And in any phase you are, let me use the word, in any weather you're passing through, that is going to be, it won't last forever. But what happens when it takes long? For example, let's talk about Rashford. For example.
Wait, if you say this, when it lasts long, the question is, who is timing?
Come on. We are all timing. That's only okay. Let me give you a perspective now. Okay, about who is timing.
Yeah.
You have your first match. You didn't perform.
Yeah.
You know, when you don't perform, you know there's something a coach want to tell you. When you are picked, always earn the rights to play. You yourself know that I've earned the rights to play.
Yeah.
Even though you did not start, but even though you play, you need to give yourself that you were here by merit.
Yeah.
That determines your performance. Okay, so you deep down know that you didn't play shit. You know. Yeah. You give yourself tap on the back, put your head up. Tomorrow go again. Tomorrow you play shit. The next day you play shit. No longer about people who is keeping count. You are keeping count, bro.
Yeah.
You're keeping count, and it's taking longer time.
So do you believe that if I do something wrong,
Yes.
and introspect and understand the situation behind the way I acted, and put in work and fail again,
Yeah.
and get the data, the reason why I failed,
Yeah.
and try again, do you believe that if you keep improving, that you keep failing?
No.
Exactly. See, the problem is we are working on people's timing. You know,
Okay.
we have a timing for success. Maybe at 25, as a footballer, you should have made it elite. You should have done this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We are living on the timing of others. That is still where emotional intelligence comes in. Because if you understand that I'm running life on my own time.
Okay, I get that.
You understand?
I get that part.
If you understand that, no one here knew when I was born. I don't know if you understand.
Yes.
So they all knew when I started to perform.
Even when they know, even if they know,
You know?
even they know.
They knew me when they saw me. They didn't know when let me say when the sex happened that led to
you.
me.
Exactly.
They didn't know when the sperm and the egg collided and all that. But they just know that they saw me when I started performing. So for that, they are now timing my performance or how good or how
But that's
bad.
the game. But that's the game.
That
Comes
see,
with the pressure. Pressure comes with the game.
is the business part of the whole thing. Like what I tell myself is, like, coming to England, I understood that these players are actually going to shift the same way I'm going for my shift.
Yeah.
So if I go to work, there are days when I might put in a whole lot of hard work.
Yeah.
A patient would just say a word and you'll be demoralized.
Yeah. Exactly.
You
Exactly.
understand? Or a patient might be anxious and your day will be fucked.
Yes.
You know, and there will be a day when you're having shitty ideas from your house and going to work and everything. Actually, no matter how good everything is at work, but inside you feel uneasy. You feel so anxious because maybe let's say you're fighting with your loved ones at home. You know, so you project that to work and everything, and it fucks everything up. So now, in this space, if you understand that I am the one to define my experience and how I express myself. And if I understand how my weaknesses or what my weaknesses are and what my strength is, to be honest, you see no reason, unless you just enjoy making yourself anxious, you know, or you just enjoy people bantering you. Maybe it gives you some kind of motivation to do better. There are some people who are like that. Then that's fine. But if you feel like you see no reason to give an ear to that, to make yourself bad or to make yourself feel sad or depressed, then you need to cultivate that self-knowledge. You need to know who you are. If I know who I am, I don't, for you to even judge my performance, my bad performance means I've actually performed good at some point.
Yes.
So because I've performed good at some point, should even give you that knowing that maybe he just needs more work or more training. He will actually come back to what he used to be. But the problem is that, you see, that's why I said if mad people lift you up, right? They don't see you see, they once you start performing wrongly, in their head it turns off that part of, hey, there was a time when you were banging in goals.
Of course, we have short memories.
You understand?
Short memories.
The girl, what's her name? Simeon. I can't. Everything on Bills or something.
Yeah, Simeon Bills. Yes. The gymnastics.
Yeah, she was doing so.
Gymnastics.
Yeah, she was doing really so good, you know. And when she started saying she wanted to, based on mental health related things, people forgot about the fact that there was when you know. For instance, I saw.
He went to a lot.
I saw a clip. I saw a clip of Adrino the other day.
Yeah.
And on TikTok, right? I went to the comment section. I started seeing a whole lot of stuff, and people started comparing how he was performing then. He was banging in goals in Champions League and all that. How much he was a bull, like any defender, he would run through you and score. And now they started comparing him being in the streets of Brazil, like dancing with friends and all that. And it's funny how people actually saw that as
he's falling off.
Yes. You understand? And the people who are saying that are praying for a moment to actually express themselves like that.
Yeah.
You know, like I said it in the intro of my book that we need to be grateful for madmen, because they set the standard for you to think that you are sane, for you to think that you are, you know what you're doing. Somebody stared at him and I was like, oh, this guy wasted a whole lot of talent and all that. But the person saying that has also told himself some way somehow that he's really not doing right. So he's looking for only people doing right in his eyes. So if he comes across a post of somebody not doing right in his eyes, the first thing he will do is to throw that banter or critic, you know, because they themselves have been criticizing themselves all along. Because you can actually give only the thing you have.
Yes.
You understand? Be it good or bad. So you get, for me, I see a man who is living his life like, we actually think that being the way he was before, maybe it never gave him happiness. Maybe, do you understand? Maybe it didn't give him the fulfillment that he sought for himself. You get me? But in our eyes, he was entertaining us. But see how selfish we are. We just want him to keep entertaining us in our level. We don't want him to have time for himself. So if he now has time for himself, and the things he does to have time for himself contrasts what we think he should be doing, automatically we start raising banters. And that's how we see celebrities and all that. And it's just so crazy. But then I think it's still needed too, so that the business of football would, I think, because
it's part of the business. It's a business.
If there is no comparison, how will business work? Business is a game of comparison. And for comparison to be, judgment have to be. And for judgment to be, there have to be a play of hate. You understand? And if hate comes, then there is anxiety, because all those things are like fruits of the tree called anxiousness. And because maybe if I am a football lover and I've placed the bet on Real Madrid, right? Now I'm selfish, because if Real Madrid doesn't win, they are in for some shit. You know? So now everything has to be about me. Mbappe has to score. So if he doesn't score, I have to go online and tell him that he's a fool. You understand? And when we are doing this, because there is something we are expecting, we're expecting our games to check in, so that we'll
know that season.
It's a business thing. So comparison has to be. But if you are the performer and you understand that, okay, this is how the business works, they have to compare. But they are comparing with them doing business. And my performance is me living my life, basically. If I understand that, I don't care for their business. If I play well and they win, good for them. But first of all, it has to be me. That means I have to put myself first. Because they are putting themselves first. That's why they think that I am shit. Because they've told themselves that he's shit, he didn't score, and now see my game, they didn't play out. So you see how, as humans as we are, we just love that space of comparison. You know, if somebody does well, automatically ask yourself, why is it that you see something fine, automatically from nowhere You want to turn it around to see if there is something you can compare it with. Oh, it's really nice. But had it been that, from nowhere that thought comes. I don't know if you understand. So you see how much we are all entangled in it. That's why I say we are all mad people. So if you understand your own madness and know how to support yourself, then and it takes that emotional intelligence to support yourself.
So this brings me to one thing that actually been standing out all through this conversation concerning how you can actually drive through the mental health, which is what? Emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
You need to be self-aware of who you are, self-aware of what you can be and what you can do, knowing your capacity. And knowing what you cannot also do.
Yeah.
I know that thing that say that there is no limit to what you can achieve. That's a fact. But we know that there's something that you can do.
Yeah, like I tell myself that I can do everything, but I don't have to do everything.
Yeah,
you understand?
What
I cannot do are the things that I choose not to do.
Exactly.
All I just need is to put myself through training of whatever it is, and I'll do it.
And that just it.
You understand? Because it's a mind thing, and that comes from you understanding who you are. Because I've come to understand that I'm life expressing itself, and life can take any form.
Yeah.
Life can take the form of rain. Tomorrow it can take the form of sunshine. You understand? It can take any form at all. It can take the form of a black man. It can take the form of a Western man.
Yeah.
And it's still life expressing itself. So if I have an idea, for instance, and I want to express myself best as a singer through music, all I have to do is to put myself through learning on how to express myself through music. Maybe learning an instrument, and another. Then if I want to express myself as a writer, I just start expressing myself, start writing. So if you understand that your life, you can basically be everything, but you can choose
what you want to do.
Exactly. And so you don't need anybody to not push you around, tell you, hey, you have to do this. If I know within me that this doesn't align to my authenticity, this doesn't align to who I am, I wouldn't have to fall no matter what. You actually don't know me. You think you what you know is what you think that I am.
Yes.
I know who I am. I know what I can do. Do you understand? And what I can't do doesn't mean that I'm weak. It just means that I just don't want to do.
And the way you put this way, people tell you, well, people who motivate people, talk is cheap. They say, talk.
Yeah.
By the time it hits you, you then know. Now, let's come into that angle now. It's easy to say, to motivate people, to get them, come on, you can do this,
Yeah.
But what happens when it comes to your lab? What do you think players, athletes can actually do to put themselves positively motivated? Because everybody's motivated, whether negatively or positively. To be positively motivated to do things, to know that this is just a wave, this is just a weather that will actually pass soon. Even though it might take longer time, stormy weathers, it will still pass through. How can someone navigate through dark times?
It's first understanding that you're human.
Okay.
And as a human being, your living is healing, and what heals is what is broken, isn't it? Okay. So that means, as a human, you're a broken person, and it's quite tricky because people will tell you, yeah, I'm healed, but in my head, if you're healed, then you stop growing, because growth is basically healing, because there has to be a breaking down, a filling up, then growth happens. Just like, let's say you're working out, you have to go to this gym to break down everything, then give yourself, and that's why they'll call it recovery time, for your muscles to heal. And the healing is where the growth happens. Yeah, this person is now buff, this person is now, like, the muscles are coming and all that. So the same way, that's what life is, because each day we see things that break us. Either things we feel, maybe of our friends being sad, we feel it. It breaks us for us to have empathy. If there is no breaking, there can't be no any feeling. That's how I perceive the whole thing. So being vulnerable is letting yourself break, and now you're breaking consciously, because you know that this pain or this experience is what I need to grow. So you see, as an athlete, I think that should be number one in your head. I'm a human being, and perfection is what will kill me. You understand? And what will heal me is progression. You understand? So you see that the struggle for perfection is what brings the anxiety,
yeah.
right? And knowing that progression is what I need is the healing of the anxiety, and understanding progression requires emotional intelligence. So I think like mental health in sports or any life, you need emotional intelligence. So that's like a religious person telling you need the Holy Spirit. You just have to understand how the whole mental health thing works and its relation to emotional intelligence and all that.
Okay, so now we've deliberated all through all this, and something keep coming up, which is about self-awareness, emotional intelligence. That is really where everything all boils down to.
Yeah.
So it's been a wonderful time having you down here.
Yeah, to be
Victor,
honest, I'm really happy because you know, we've been having this conversation behind the mic for years.
Yeah.
So I felt like it was time for us to just do this, and though we still have a whole lot to talk about, especially when my book drops.
Yeah.
But I'll still keep me posted. Yeah, I'll keep you posted when everything works out.
So first, what I normally do, anyone who comes to a Black Sport podcast, is we normally play a game, and the game is just a simple one.
What kind of game? I hope it's one I can play.
Definitely, that's what you're going to play with. So how the game is I know you're a Chelsea fan, so
yeah, Blues for life. That guy Chelsea fucked me up, but they made me depressed, you know. And but I go talk about that one another day, you know.
Okay.
But then,
So how the game goes is, I'll name a club or you name a club. The last letter of the club, I'll say another club that starts from the last letter.
Can you say that again?
So if I say Chelsea, then you name the last letter end with Chelsea's A. You say another club that starts with A.
Okay.
You're going down until we see who runs out of club.
Okay, I will see if I can try.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll give you the honors. You start.
I'll start with Chelsea.
Okay. So that's an A, and you have 5 seconds to
think about the club.
Yes.
Okay.
So Chelsea and Arsenal.
Liverpool.
L. Okay. That's the L.
Yeah.
Leeds. That's S.
Sunderland.
Okay. That's D. Yeah. Derby County.
I don't know a club that starts with why? Young Star Belgrade or something. Is there any club like that?
What's Young Star Belgrade?
Is that I know there's a club like that, isn't it?
No,
Young Star.
No, you look at it, Young Star. No, come on.
Wait. But he gave a club with
no. Actually, we'll check it after that. Maybe
there's a club called Young Star Belgrade guy.
That is done. We'll call the this now. So back to what you're saying. This is a wrap for us right here. So please feel free to check out his handle right there on IG, and also please follow us on our Spotify and YouTube. Follow us on our social media platform on X, on Facebook, on IG, and please subscribe, show your loved ones, and let's get everything talking. Remember, the most important thing you need to know is about self-awareness.
Exactly.
Have your emotional intelligence to navigate you all through the weather, whether the stormy weather, whether you're actually going through sadness, you're going through anger, or you're smiling or happy. It's just the face. It's going to pass. Whether you're a player, you're not going to be a player, time will tell, because time is all we have. So do you have anything to add before we call it a day, Victor?
The only thing I have to say is that life is an all man for himself thing.
Okay.
And the same way all life is an all man for himself thing, you have to determine what truth is to you. You have to determine who are you for who you are first. Then you have to personalize this living experience. Know that you have to put yourself first, and in putting yourself first, you have to see yourself the way you see. You have to see others from the eyes that which you see yourself through. So once you do that, I think you can be able to deal with people and deal with yourself. And with that, I think your mental health will be sane. But just understand that everybody's man, and you're a person too, so you're insane too. With that, I think you can navigate life. When someone's acting, you don't tell yourself, the person is just showing his madness. So when you're acting, you say, yes, then I'm showing my own madness. So with that, if you now find from a compassionate point of view where you can help support this person to understand his own madness or her own madness. And and with emotional intelligence as your guide, you can live through life, as a human being and happy, basically.
All right, so this is Victor Kwesi giving you a little tip of what is about to come out in his coming book. Please stay glued us while you're he's going to come back here to give us every single detail.
Definitely, I'll be coming often because I like this space. I like this space. Then we need to have, like, there are other deep conversations even that I think people, especially for we black people, and how much we see mental health, because it's like the black people in sports are the people who kind of like feel the whole mental health anymore.
Most of them not really mentally aware or self-aware that this is something they need to take care of. So that's why it's always a problem.
Because in the country I come from, we think that mental health is something that will heal with an amen, which for me is our biggest problem. If you understand that, we have to put in work in taking care of our mind. The same way we put so much effort for the life that will come maybe when we're dead. We should understand that living is what we have now, and as black people we should do anything that we can possible to understand that therapy is there to help us navigate through life, and we should call it a thing. It's something that we should. It's not something that maybe some preacher tells you. It's not something that maybe even your mom will tell you. It's something that you have to experience yourself. Those people can act as guides, but then it all boils down to you. So if you're not open to it, how can you receive it? So black people just need to be open to a therapy, because we think that anybody who is if you tell somebody, I'm going to what's it called, therapy, in our head we just feel like, hey, this person is mad. But if we still understand that we are all mad and then we don't need therapy, it becomes quite easy. So I think that if you, with that in mind, it will help you scale through. And if you start worrying yourself, just tell yourself, maybe this is a sign of madness, so maybe I just need to control myself. Exactly.
And that does it. Okay, you had it first from Victor Kwesi, and please follow him on his handle and stay glued with him while he drops his upcoming book, which is going to be more revealing about self-awareness. So I'm signing up here. I'm still and always will be Insunet Uche, handling all Let's Talk Sports on Black Sport Podcast. We'll see you next week, and we'll dive into what is happening in the world of sports. I am your host, like always. Stay glued. See you next week. Ciao.